What is up? What is good, people? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. Hello, Zane.
Hello, Jake.
How are you doing today?
You know
No. Don't you dare ask me.
I
asked first.
You started first, so I get to ask first. Okay, how are you doing today, Jake?
I'm doing
What's good.
I'm doing very well. Whenever we start these podcasts, hello, audio and YouTube listeners. We're usually cranking caffeine. Your caffeine list.
Yeah, just pure water.
I wish I could.
Trying to stay hydrated.
I really wish I could operate like you. So now my turn. How are you today, Zane?
You know, I'm chilling.
Yeah, it's been we always say it's been another crazy week, and
Absolutely.
I don't think things are going to slow down as we slowly approach the summer. The warmer months await us here.
Only going to get more busy.
Here in Vegas, it's going to get more busy. Big moves still coming, and our clothes are slowly going to start coming off as the heat comes around. I closed that out kind of nice there.
Yeah.
You ready? With that being said, you ready to get it kicking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about something salty, huh? All right, Zane, I'm going to throw you a little curveball for our first story, and going to actually do our first ever versus story where I'm going to ask you, actually describe to you two situations that we've seen this past week, and you're going to tell me which one is worse.
All right.
And so this comes down to FaZe Dubs versus SoaR Carl, both of which at the point of us recording is now happened about a week ago.
Right.
And so we actually have, I hate to say it, the gamer word classic, that being FaZe Dubs dropping the N-word. Unfortunately enough, as a lot of young kids are doing, especially those in gaming, we've talked about this a lot across the team. There are certainly two sides to it. Obviously, what he did was so wrong. And then the other side of things, he is so young and obviously surrounded by people who are having some poor influences on him. Next up, though, that being SoaR Carl, which at the point of us recording did happen just today.
Yeah, just earlier this morning.
That's
fun.
I sent this to Zan in our group chat as well, and we all had a nice little, a safe laugh.
I don't know. I wouldn't even call it a laugh. I'd call it like an exasperated, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, it's more of an exasperated what the frick, you know?
Yeah.
If you guys did not see, SoaR Carl, a former SoaR member, a streamer / content creator, actually was doing a drunk stream, which... That kind of just adds to a lot of what was going on. Drunkenly then picks up his weapon, supposedly discharges it or whatever. Supposedly unloads it.
Supposed to remove a bullet from the gun, but he had another bullet in there.
One was still somehow in the chamber. Fires it off. Apparently hits his whatever it hits alongside a G Fuel tub, which has been a meme as well. And that sparking up a lot of controversy as well. He's now been banned on Twitch, rightfully so. Also kicked from his esports organization. So that being said, Zan, which one is worse?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's much of a contest. What Dubs did, awful. Homie should have not, right? At 15, I think you're old enough to know better than to, like, regardless of whether or not you're on stream, to just avoid the word, no reason to use it, right? Now, the SoaR thing, first of all, shout-outs to SoaR for a very quick response.
Yeah, very timely.
They were on top of that like nobody's business, right? But obviously, guns are very, very dangerous. That's somebody's life could have been in danger.
Yep.
His life could have been in danger. A firearm should never have been around while he's drinking, you know, or just like chilling casually in the house in the first place, you know? It's always best to keep that type of thing in a safe place unless it's absolutely needed. You know, it's unfortunate. But at least Carl very clearly recognized what he had done wrong.
Has apologized ever since.
Yes.
Hopefully, just like everything else, just like Dubs can learn from it. So I would probably agree with you. The worst of two evils.
Yeah, comparing the two, neither is great. One of them is like, you know, life and death type.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah. We could have been talking about a different story.
Absolutely.
People got to realize when you're firing off a weapon like that, walls are thinner than you think. You know, his neighbor could have been outside. His animals could have been around. A girlfriend / partner / roommate could have been in a separate room.
Right.
Could have been a very, very, very bad story to talk about. But now, with everyone being okay, it can be a nice chuckle, and of course he'll be facing repercussions for this and hopefully to learn from it. We continue to have crazy weeks in and out of gaming. Streamers, content creators, players, and pros do the wildest thing in esports. Like, I don't think we see this in traditional sports. So
certainly not as often.
Yeah, there will be more to come, I'm sure.
You know, Jake, you just threw me a curveball, so I'm going to hit you with one, you know, right back and forth. Yeah, let's volley a little bit. So when you think of the top 20 games ever played, like, you know, consistently in NA, EU, you think of games like CSGO, Call of Duty,
League of Legends,
of course, League, you know, the big,
I don't want to offend anybody, but not mention anyone. Overwatch.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of games here, right?
Don't judge.
Not going to go down the entire list,
Yeah.
but one most people probably don't expect to see there is Farming Simulator.
Oh, boy. Here we go again.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what? It's been since episode 3 of the podcast that we talked about it, actually. I went back and checked.
Jesus
So it's a
Christ.
good minute ago. But there's actually fresh news with the Farming Simulator League.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're still around?
They're making big moves, my guy. And I'm low-key convinced Farming Simulator might outlive a lot of other esports.
Let me hear it.
Because, okay, so here's the thing, right? The game devs behind Farming Simulator just made an esport last year, right? After the community for years had been making their own grassroots competitions and tournaments and stuff and just chilling.
Sorry.
Yeah, grassroots, yeah.
And you community grassroots, I'm thinking backwoods farmers, like, we got to band together. We want like an electronic version of our game.
Yeah, at like a town hall meeting, like with their pitchforks. Yeah, but no, it's really and truly, it's amazing to see because Farming Simulator is a yearly game, much in the same vein as FIFA and Call of Duty and everything.
Yeah.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, actually, this the game they're competing in right now is Farming Simulator 19. They've been going since 2008, going strong.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
The things you don't know.
They've been around a good minute. But anyway, so this is more of just like a refresher for everybody out there because it's been a while since we talked about the Farming Simulator League. Most people don't cover it at all. Here's a little tidbit. Did you know CSGO was not the only thing in Katowice last week?
Was Farming Simulator at Katowice?
It was at IEM Katowice.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I really a few TOs do this. Like DreamHack does this. Like I'll cover like DreamHack Anaheim for CS:GO or for Fortnite, and then there'll be like a third one in there that that I don't cover. So yeah, I didn't know that. No.
No, yeah. I tried to look it up after I heard about this. Like IEM Katowice, like Farming Simulator. It was hard to find it even.
I bet.
I think it's just that community just keeps
it
to
was
itself
there,
and chills. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because their tournament is actually kind of big. There's $250,000 up for grabs across 14 events with $100,000 being reserved for their grand final at FarmCon 2020. FarmCon is
my parents are going to that.
Yo,
dude.
for real.
If you guys don't know or new to the podcast somehow, I'm actually originally from Iowa. So whenever this got brought up the first time, we had our jokes back and forth.
We're about to get our overall jerseys.
Yeah, we were for a time.
Yeah, and this man wouldn't give me his measurements.
I'm bad at measuring things.
Figure out how to use a tape.
But hey, that's a decent prize pool for any esport.
It's respectable. It really is.
Especially this early on when it comes to the competitive esport. They've been around for a while, but not into the actual, now just this past year was like the first time, at least when we saw for the public eye, big sponsors going in and saying, like signing Farming Simulator teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like John Deere's involved. Like, yeah.
And that's the only one we know, but I'm sure there are others as well. I don't know if Kubota and all those guys are in there too.
I don't know.
But some of them are.
Farming brands, but the league organizers specifically have a section for the manufacturer teams, as well as the public teams, let's say. But they're taking things slow and they're doing something that I think a lot of people will appreciate. And I know there was a lot of detractors for with a game like Overwatch, is that they're not trying to force the esports side at all.
Yeah,
they're just doing it. They're just like, hey, as long as you guys want to have fun, we'll make it fun for you guys.
Yeah.
And just recently, it's become big enough to justify them getting their own broadcast studio in Germany. They're taking a page out of the LCS playbook.
This is crazy.
Farming Simulator is going to be huge, I think, because the game has legs, clearly. Like, it's got a dedicated community. Viewership is respectable on Twitch. Some of these events are getting, I saw 30,000 concurrent.
Yeah.
and for Farming Simulator, for
the world
very
will
little
always
marketing.
have farmers.
Yeah, exactly, right?
The world will always need to be fed.
And there's IRL farming competitions. Like, people will compete to, who can stack the hay bales faster and stuff like that. So I think Farming Simulator Esports is a natural transition.
This is just... Like, someone's growing up right now as a farming kid, or maybe not even, and their eventual job is going to be commentating.
Oh, absolutely.
Esports farming.
Because they'll just have the background knowledge.
Yeah, they'll know.
Oh,
that's the 3 inches down, 3 inches apart, soybean season, acre by acre, row by row. I don't know what I'm saying. I only worked on a farm 2 summers. Leave me alone. But, I mean, it's great to see. You always keep on bringing up these different esports. Last week was chess. Before that was...
F1. You asked me to bring it back, so I'm just trying to touch on the smaller esports scenes, get some more exposure for them, And
we'll certainly see how they keep on doing it. I love the nonchalant approach because, you can't always force things. And so I guess we'll see what the future holds for Farming Sim.
Yeah, I can't wait for Farming
Sim
Simulator.
20?
Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll have a story/video on it on this channel.
Yeah, catch us commentating FarmCon 2021.
All right, Zan, definitely an interesting one that I hope is going to be a highlight here as well that people just aren't talking about. That's going to be xQc that got banned this past week. Nothing too serious. All right, let me preface by don't attack me, guys. I don't really care. I just think it's a very interesting point when you have someone on the platform as big as xQc potentially manipulating the platform in a sense. This past week, we talked about he got a ban for playing a game with nudity, and I even had a video about this. It did well, but even more so, there weren't really people talking about the fact that he certainly, in my opinion, actually got banned on purpose. I don't know if you looked into detail about this, but
I saw a little bit of this, and I'm kind of on the same page. It very much seems like it was a conscious decision on his part.
Yeah, and it's again, all props to him. If you can do this, I actually enjoy him. He's a very, very funny personality, and there's a reason why he's successful. But if I were a different type of streamer, I might be I might be offended by this, but it's certainly, at the very least, a very smart move by a guy like xQc. We both know that he has a very overwhelming fan base, and especially can be very exhausting for a guy like him to probably deal with on a daily basis. And so if you guys do not know, he got a small 3-day ban. Obviously probably knows the rule book, the guidelines to abide by on Twitch, and he actually downloaded a game that was a hentai stripper game. Clearly probably going to be against Twitch guidelines, if not writing those guidelines.
Good to fair chance, yeah, I would wager.
He then decentered the game so it would show nudity, and then very lastly, when prompted, actually talking to a stripper, she said she would take her bra off. He had to actually manually click OK and then act surprised that she actually got naked. I don't know if you guys...
Gasp.
Real life advice, usually people don't wear clothes underneath their bras. So if a stripper is going to prompt you, hey, I'll take my bra off, probably naked underneath, man or woman or whatever. And so I thought it was very curious because we have seen time and time again these gigantic returns to Twitch. Dr. Dis and Tyler 1, probably the most notable ones. After long-term bans, they come back super strong. And so I thought it was super weird that this guy clearly did it on purpose. He even had a few tweets about appealing the ban, not being successful. He purposely gave himself a 3-day vacation and knows that coming back, his viewership will likely be as strong as ever.
Yeah, if not like a little bit stronger.
And so I've never seen this before. I don't necessarily know how to react. Or what?
I don't think we've ever seen a case where it seems so transparently intentional on the streamer's part. We've definitely seen instances where like a streamer will say like, hey, now that I'm banned, I get a 2-week vacation. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously streaming is very stressful. You know, your viewer base on Twitch is super fickle at times. If you don't stream for a couple days, you're gonna lose viewers. That's just the nature of the game. So I certainly wouldn't fault any streamer for, if nothing else, seeing this as a blessing in disguise. Because obviously 3 days is not a very serious ban. This isn't going to have any long-term consequences for xQc of all people. He's not going to have to worry about being able to pay his bills. His fans are still going to be there when he gets back because they know, hey, he's banned. He's not streaming. It's not like he's ignoring them or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a couple days to chill, refresh.
Yeah, and he's back now, obviously.
Yeah.
It just baffles me. We're sitting here talking about a guy like xQc who, albeit I think a lot of fans, I think he gets some sort of backlash. Obviously a wide variety of opinions out there. People think he can be a bit naive sometimes, but then he has these moments where I guarantee you a lot of his fans out there think it was actually an accident, where xQc can play it off so well. And I don't know. It's one of the smarter moves I saw this past week on Twitch. Had to talk about it. Get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, by all means.
And it's just super, I don't know, very interesting time to see a gamer out there manipulating the Twitch system, especially at a time where Twitch bans are so like controversial.
I think we're going to see more of this, honestly.
And I think
I would not be surprised.
And if we see it again from him, you better believe I'm gonna say something.
You're gonna be there minute 1. The VOD's gonna be up. Jake's gonna be in the studio 5 minutes later. Like, guys, I called it.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Jake, my last topic was on a grassroots esports scene, making it to the big time in a big way. And I want to talk about another one, a major success for grassroots, real quick.
I love how you keep on mentioning grass. It just reminds me of home. We don't see it much here in Nevada.
Yeah, we get a little bit. We got
when you get it, it's a problem,
Yeah. Your HOA knocks on your door, we're like, what's this grass doing here? There's green in the desert? What?
Literally happening to us right now at our house. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, anyway, the Smash World Tour. It's here. It's official. Tio's finally doing what I've been shouting about for literal years. I've been mad at my friends. They're all like, Nintendo needs to pay us. I'm like, just pay yourselves. You can do it. Smash is big. Smash has that huge grassroots energy. They've got so much dedication and passion in that scene, and clearly they can carry it themselves, as we're seeing here.
They can try.
I think they're gonna be successful.
It's a step in the right direction. I can't really argue it. If you guys missed, was that last podcast or 2 podcasts ago?
I think it was 2 podcasts ago that we talked about it.
Me and Zan went huge back and forth. Like, I actually got upset with Zan. We went back and forth on Nintendo supporting their esports. So go on. I'm glad they announced something, or something has been announced. Not necessarily by Nintendo, but at least for the esport in general.
So basically, the way this is going to work is the Smash World Tour is being hosted by VG Bootcamp and SmashCon, both huge tournament organizers, both very long-term, like members of the community from the ground up. They're basically hosting a global circuit where any community event can opt into it, and players can go and earn points for the Smash World Tour, which is essentially a $250,000 prize pool tournament featuring both Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as well as Melee. It's exactly what pros have been asking for years. Tons of opportunities for new amateur players to get involved, since they're being very open and welcoming to very local events, participating and allowing tournament competitors to earn points at smaller events and make their way to eventually one big, huge tournament at the end of the year in December, I believe. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. We've seen nothing but support from the community so far. The tournament organizers know what they're doing. VG Bootcamp has been doing an amazing job with events for years. SmashCon hosts an event with, I think, I want to say off the top of my head, 10,000 attendees every year. So they know how to organize stuff and get it really going. They've got a couple good sponsors. I think Twitch is sponsoring, as well as a couple other companies. And I'm excited to see the Smash scene succeeding right now.
Do we know how many finalists get to go to the Ultimate event?
Off the top of my head, I want to say 32.
Because I think
it's something around there.
I think it's a great move. I hope everything works out well. That is it going to be an issue that established pros or obviously higher tier, maybe affiliated with organizations, do they get to travel to more events than the common person?
Yeah, that's always going to be a concern.
But though, with that though, the reverse, I am excited to see though. I hope that there will be maybe a couple off the street kind of guys do well or gals and do well early on, and all of a sudden you see them traveling. And so you get to see the constant rankings, and then hopefully by the time the ultimate event happens, we have a few not established pros.
I think we'll see a couple fresh faces, because the Smash esports scene right now is dominated obviously by a couple of let's say 5 to 10 killers who are just dominating the scene. But I think a part of that is just because those are the people who can afford to do it and who can afford to make it to events and such.
Yeah.
And with the Smash World Tour, they're making it a very inclusive event. Like I said, they're working with local events to say hey, yeah, if you got a small local that you run on Tuesdays that's got 100 people, 200 people who show up, hey, yeah, you can earn some points to the World Tour there. So I think they're doing their best to make it as possible for as many people to have a shot at the tour.
Yeah. And certainly, if anyone does actually, come up through this, we might see some esports orgs be like, "Oh, I haven't heard of you before. Let me sign you." Throughout the qualifiers as they go on.
Yeah, I think the Smash World Tour means a lot for the scene, just because it provides it focuses things a little bit. There are so many events for Smash Brothers every year. It's hard for an org to say oh, well, you won at this event. Does that actually mean anything?
Yeah, this way they can be here's where you stand in the Smash Globals, and of course, if you do eventually qualify, here's where you placed.
Right.
And then if it can be a year in, year out thing, that becomes a reoccurring you.
Yeah,
that's a big thing that you placed in. So some more solidified, backing.
Right, exactly.
As opposed to, I went to this $5,000 pro-am or whatever it is. Definitely more official events will help.
Yeah, and I think the fact that sponsors are involved right now, and I think this will mean a lot of companies, if it does well this year, a lot of companies will be down for next year as well.
Yeah, and maybe one day, years from now, Nintendo might back it themselves.
Hey, yeah, I think this is the best shot that Smash has at Nintendo ever given them money. Because
this way the community tries to get their attention.
Right. Well, obviously,
in a more established way.
I think in a large part, Nintendo's obviously very aware of Smash esports already.
Yeah.
I think this actually gives them one place where they can actually support. Where previously, if they wanted to support, they got to pick one. They kind of got to or do we want to spend $5,000 here, spread $5,000 across 50 tournaments or something?
Yeah.
With this, they have a shot where they can just be hey, we're donating $100K to the Smash World Tour.
Yeah, just like Valve supports majors twice a year. Yeah. This way they can actually choose one. They don't have to choose one.
Yeah, and they know they can trust the organizers. They they can talk to a dedicated team.
So first year, big year.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Whew, make or break year for the scene.
No pressure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. In our last conjoined topic, usually on this podcast we do 2 apiece and we go back and forth on one together. It's actually one that was announced this week that was passed up on the channel but saved for the podcast, and that's going to be the brand new gamer bed. Zan, I know you were the one to link this. A Japanese retailer, I'm not going to try and pronounce them, guys, now selling a gamer bed / complete setup where you rise from your bed and you are then at your desk already. And
looking at the images, the monitor is about, like, if you're watching the video podcast right now, shout out to our audio listeners, it's about like an arm's length away.
This
like
is
right
so
here,
sad.
maybe.
Plus, there's no place to really sit. Like, you're going to...
Well, yeah, you're in bed, yeah.
So you have to go to the end of your bed. It's terrifying because also they show in the image as well, if you guys have not seen this, I mean, everything that's attached to this thing, it has to do with gaming, sugary energy drinks, or like fast food. It's disgusting looking. Pretty much at no point in time do you ever have to leave your room or your bed to game. Retail price right now, just over $1,000. And make sure to include that snacks are sold separately.
Oh yeah, of course. Gotta give people a heads up. Don't want to expect like a G Fuel can
or
with
a Pringles. Like what?
Yeah,
nothing at all.
I didn't get that with my gaming bed. Refunding right away. Charge back.
I think it's very obvious we're gonna share the same opinion on this one. This is not the move for me. That my vote would be no. Do you have initial thoughts on this?
I mean, I can see this being useful in certain circumstances. I don't know that I would personally use it, especially because I don't know about you, but I can't game laying down at all, like any level of skill. Like I've been on a day where I'm sick, I've tried to play video games in bed, and it's just not happening.
No, I need to be upright.
Yeah,
sure.
like at least sitting. But I know there's a lot of countries and a lot of housing situations, and we're getting to this point in America too, where you don't have a lot of space for a full setup. Yeah, so maybe the move is to just
you always do these kind of things where I'm like that's a good point. Yeah, if you maybe go to like the Asian regions where whether it be housing or just in general, a lot more populated areas, and your living space is a lot smaller. All of a sudden you're conjoining your sleeping space with your desk space. Yeah.
Or what about dorms?
True.
You only got like a small bed.
Like
chilling.
I mean, I guess I'm used to American dorms. I don't know how other dorms work, but me and my buddy were pretty crammed, but we both had our spaces for our desks, though, Yeah,
it was never like... I mean, true, same here, but...
The first thing I thought of was Wall-E, the movie, where they're, like, living off the machines, and they're not even, like, eating anymore. They're just, like, and they're getting really, really... That's my first thought. I don't think it's needed, but you're right. It might be a nice functionality for someone out there.
Yeah, certainly not for everybody, but, shout out to the people it's useful for.
Yeah, and if it's not useful, then we won't use it.
I mean, heck, we already saw Scump giving interviews from bed. Who's to say we're not about to see CDL events just chilling in bed?
Freaking go. Imagine though. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Gamers' future. This is going to be interesting. I think it's a slow approach, but certainly a few people out there will use it. Is it going to take over? We can only hope not. And just like that, people, thank you all for watching Esports Rewind Wild West.
Thank you.
Zan, you give them the good old outro.
All right, I'll try to abbreviate it this week, just for you, Jake.
I'm just saying, if I was watching week in and week out like a loyal viewer would for the podcast, they might be thinking, oh, Zan's going to say the same spiel.
I feel like the loyal viewers know why we got to give the spiel.
We need you guys.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit him first. I'll say this. If you guys like our content, please subscribe. If you guys like our content, maybe like the video or comment. And maybe check out our other content here on the YouTube channel. Now it's on you, Zane.
Okay. Yeah, so for all the video listeners out there, if you want to listen to the Esports Rewind podcast on the go, you can find us on the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network right here on the desk. That's PREEDICTION. We're on iTunes, Spotify, all your favorite audio streaming platforms of choice. If you want to share a story with us, just reach out and say, hey. You can find us on Twitter at talk_esports or on Instagram at esports_talk. You got exclusive content on both Instagram as well as Twitter on occasion. So, check it out. Drop a like, drop a follow. Stay in the loop on all the greatest esports news stories that we had to offer for you guys, And thank you all so much for listening and supporting us. Like Jake said, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It really does mean a lot to us. Thank you for 88K last week. Shout out to that. Creeping up on 100K soon. Let's go. Knock on wood. Is this even real wood?
I don't know.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
One day it will be.
Yeah. Once we hit 100K, that'll be the first move. Wooden table.
The boss promises wooden tables once we reach 100K.
Not raises, wooden tables. That's the move.
But seriously, thank you all
Yeah.
for watching. Same day, same time, every single week, the Esports
Absolutely.
Rewind podcast. We do appreciate y'all, and we will see you back here next week. Until then, stay clean, gamers.
Oh, yeah. Wash your hands.
Corona beat
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, 20 seconds.